2, 3, bust it.
Power Connect Show. Power Connect. Power Connect Show. Power Connect. Power Connect Show. Your reliable program that gives you all the information you need to know about the power sector, professionals in the industry, electrical products, government agencies, the stakeholders, and many more. Power Connect Show.
Can there be a better way to start the program this year? Can there be a better way to start your favorite program, your ever delightful program, for the very first time in the year 2024, other than to wish all of you, our dear listeners, a very happy, prosperous, light-filled, bright 2024. And also to thank you for the support you gave us in the previous year, and I'm sure that you're going to give us even, a much better support this year. It's your program, The Power Connect Show, and my name, Ademola Ben Cranston Adegoke, and I know that you're already expecting some that I should introduce the one that is like a twin brother to me now. But before then, let me also quickly wish someone a very happy birthday. Is the pillar behind, one of the forces, one of the pillars behind this program. The man is Godwin Idemodea by name, but is well known as the Big G. Big G, wherever you are, happy birthday to you. Banji Busari.
Yes, it's somebody that we should actually celebrate, but let me not skip the one that is most paramount. You just wished our listeners a very prosperous, blessed, and very, very productive new year. I join you in saying that because they've been co-partners in success, in progress of Power Connect Show.
Yeah.
Demola, we have successfully exited a very challenging year, 2023. And we are transiting to a year that I believe is a brand new year, not just brand, is going to actually usher in, positively I believe, very, very many great things.
I believe that too.
All of us.
I do believe.
I believe even on Power Connect Show, we are going to witness tremendous achievements.
Really.
Great country, great achievements under the present administration led by President
Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
My name is Banji Busari. I'm glad to be here. Yeah, it's going to be a great year, I believe.
Just as I am. So for now, we just go for a short break and we'll be back in a short while.
Oníbàárà Èkó Disco wa pàtàkì jọ̀wọ́ lọ sí www.ekedp.com/sts kó o sì tẹ nọ́mbà mítà tó ń lò lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ síbẹ̀ láti mọ̀ bóyá mítà rẹ lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ láti sún sókè sí ẹ̀dà STS2. Tí mítà rẹ bá lẹ́tọ̀ọ́, a ó tún padà kàn sí ọ. Àmọ́ tí kò bá lẹ́tọ̀ọ́, o máa nílò láti forúkọ sílẹ̀ fún mítà tuntun. EKEDC á sì dá owó mítà rẹ padà fún ọ láàárín àkókò díẹ̀. Tó o bá ní ìdojúkọ kankan, jọ̀wọ́ kàn sí ikọ̀ ìrírí oníbàárà wa pẹ̀lú email tàbí nọ́mbà fóònù tá a pèsè. Ìkéde fún gbogbo ará ìlú yìí wá látọ̀dọ̀ Èkó Disco. EKEDC, àwa là ń fi agbára fún ìgbé ayé ẹ̀dá tó rántí.
Yeah. It's a brand new year, as we have said, but then there are issues.
Very, very, very big issues.
So many issues.
Yeah,
especially
listen to the presidential address.
Especially in the power sector. Some of these issues, you can call them legacy issues because we are actually carrying them over from the previous year. But then there are issues that are capable of shaping the year 2024. And those are the issues we'll be looking at in this edition, this very first edition of the show, of the Power Connect Show. Of course, we have a guest who will be joining us online. Our guest for today's program is an industry player. He is the convener and executive director of Power Up Nigeria. It's a consumer rights and power policy advocacy group, and we will be looking at those issues that are capable of shaping the electricity sector in the year 2024 together. He's by name Mr. Tayo Adegbenro, the Executive Director, Convener and Executive Director, Power Up Nigeria. He's right here with us. Hello, Mr. Adegbenle, are you there?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. You are welcome. You are welcome. Wishing you a very happy new year. A light-filled year. It will be for you and yours. Yeah. So, okay, we hit the ground running right away.
All right.
We are looking at the issues that will shape the year 2020, capable of shaping the year 2024 in the electricity sector. Let's start with the 2023 Electricity Act. It was signed just about 11 days into the present administration. The new Electricity Act was signed into law by the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But we have actually not seen much of the implementation of that act, in the year 2023. How do you see it playing out in the year 2024?
One of the very first interviews that I granted after that Electricity Act was enacted, I was signed into law by the new president, then President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was that this is just a call to work. It says it is not the document itself is not a solution. It is the amount of work that we're able to put into it that will determine the success of those provisions. The interesting part of it, which I'm glad to say, is that I am one of those that actually pushed. In fact, I think on record, I can assert that on record, I am probably one of the very few people that ask and demand that states should be allowed to also run their own electricity market, generate, transmit, and also distribute. Now, the provision is good in itself, but it is the work that will go into it that will determine the amount of success that the Electricity Act will garner. I don't let us forget that it is not just the provision. One of the highlights of the provisions of the new Electricity Act is just that the states will be able to create their own market. It is not the only provision that is in there. You understand?
Yeah.
But the success of the act and the provisions will have to be felt in the amount of work that is put into it. And between you and I've said it on several platforms already. Not many states are in the position to even do much as we speak. Yes, we have consulted to a number of states. A number of states have come to ask questions and are playing around the possibilities. A lot of them see it as a political, to just try and score a cheap political point. But then, the only two states, I think Edo and Lagos State, in that order, let me reverse it. Lagos State and Edo in that order are the only two states that I think are advanced in anything that is very close to consuming that provision.
Okay. So much to say about the Electricity Act and its implementation, but because of time, quickly, because we are just looking at issues that will shape the year, capable of shaping the year in the electricity sector. And one other issue, there has been so much conversation about appropriate pricing of electricity, otherwise known as cost-reflective tariff, and subsidy, and all of that. In the middle of last year, an attempt was made by the DISCOs to increase tariff, and that move was altered by government, But we know that in this year, that issue is most likely to, come up again, because even as recent as just some few days back, there were rumors that there was going to be an increase in tariff, although the DISCOs have denied it. But, this play side by side with the issue of subsidy. How do you think electricity subsidy? How do you see it, playing out in the year 2024?
Well, first of all, I think we also need to establish something. By the law that governs the power sector, it is expected that we are going to have a biannual tariff reviews. That's what is obtainable in the multi-year tariff order. That's also known as MITO.
MITO.
So it is not just that the discos were demanded or asked for a tariff review. They are just following what the law demands them to do, which is a normal process. And we have missed the opportunity to do the major tariff in July, August window. We are also supposed to be doing a minor tariff in this December, January window. So that was why most of the reports that you saw said, expect tariff increase. But unfortunately, the government in power, government of the day, they have said everything on tariff review should be suspended. Interestingly, the minister on his New Year's release also mentioned that they are looking at implementing the structure of implementing cost-reflective tariff while still maintaining subsidy. But the structure or the framework for them to do that, we never discussed it. Just mentioned it, but we're expecting that hopefully they will make a release or they will make a publication to that effect for all of us so that we can see what they are doing. But another thing I also noticed from that statement was that he never at any point mentioned the fact that he was working with stakeholders, especially the regulators of the industry, to bring that to fruition.
Okay. So much on the tariff and the issue of subsidy. Let me just go further down on the issue of the cost reflective tariff. That's because discussion on tariff is never complete without actually discussing the appropriate pricing of electricity, known as cost. Now, what's this CRT, that's cost reflective tariff? What is it about, and what's its implication for the economy?
All right,
and for the industry too.
Everybody knows that for every businessman, there is what is appropriate pricing for its products and services. And there is always problem when the letters of the details of appropriate pricing is not met. If you underprice, you know you're in problem. If you overprice, your market will not sell. For electricity, there is what we call a cost-reflective tariff. Cost-reflective basically means that the cost or that value is reflective of the cost of production. For instance, 80% of our generation in Nigeria, or power generation in Nigeria, is done by gas. So the stock fuel for those power plants is gas. Now, those gas is bought in dollars. The tariff methodology that we have adopted in Nigeria takes into consideration our foreign exchange values. So our forex, naira to dollar value, also plays a very important role in the formulation of the tariff. Another thing that we also use in formulating the tariff is the inflation rate in the nation. Now, all those things are put together. Electricity is not something that you just walk into the market to buy. It cannot be stored. So they put all those things together as factors in determining the price, so that so that you can have stable pricing over a period of time. You understand?
I do.
So, for instance, in the first quarter of 2023, when the last review was carried, as at then, the official rate of dollar was about 440, thereabouts. Inflation, the national inflation figure was about 24%, about 22 and 24%. And the price of gas, I think it was about $3 something per cubic, whatever. Now, from those figures, the average naira or average cost of 1 kilowatt-hour as at that last tariff was pegged at 58 naira and some 70 kobo. Are you following?
Yes,
very well.
Yes, very well.
That was the cost of generating 1 kilowatt-hour based on those macroeconomic indices. Now, by the third quarter of this year, dollar value has gone because of the unification of forex. Dollar value has gone from that 440 something naira, I think 448 naira to 740. That's officially. But even in the market at that time, dollar was, as at the day we are doing, but I was also involved. I was privileged to be,
Okay, Mr. Adegbenro, you know what? Just hold your thought. Adegbenle, rather. Sorry. Just hold your thought. We go for a short break. We continue the conversation from there when we return.
All right.
Dear Ogbonge Eco Disco customer, abeg make you go our website www.ekedp.com/sts and enter your current meter number to check whether your meter qualify to upgrade to the STS2 version. If your meter qualify, we go holla you back. But if you not qualify, you fit apply for new meter and the EKEDC go return the meter money to you over time. If you experience any wahala, abeg make you contact our customer experience team through the email or phone wey we provide. This na public service announcement from EKEDC. EKEDC. Now we dey empower the quality of life.
Okay, you are welcome back. It's the Power Connect show, and we are looking at issues that are capable of shaping the electricity sector in the year 2024. And we have as our guest Mr. Tayo Adegbenle, the convener and executive director of Power Up Nigeria. It's a consumer rights and power policy advocacy group. Mr. Adegbenle, okay, thanks for being there. Yeah, you
so I think you should just drive home your point, because there are other issues that I would like to actually prove to.
So by the third quarter of 2023, all those macroeconomic factors have changed. Dollar has gone to about 740 thereabouts. Inflation has gone to about 29%. At the end of that review, we arrived at about 111 naira to kobo as the true cost of electricity in the country. Now, where tariff subsidy comes in is that government say, this value cannot be transferred straight to consumers. So there is now a value called allowed cost, which is what consumers are made to pay. So as at fourth quarter, the allowed cost of about 59 naira on the average. We are still carrying that 59 naira to date because of that tariff freeze. Now, guess what? While the average subsidy we are paying as at quarter one has reduced to about 8 naira per kilowatt hour, now it has increased to about 70 naira per kilowatt hour because the government has restricted us from that tariff review.
Yeah. So now let me ask the question. Ask the question. From what you have explained, there are issues that we know are springing up from this. One, the question of affordability. How affordable is the subsidy, for government? To what, and then how sustainable too? To what extent? Yes. To what extent will government be able to sustain the subsidy? And thirdly, maybe you just take all of them all together. And thirdly, there is also this very crucial issue of, when you talk about subsidy is not just done, for its sake. There is usually, a target. There is a target population.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Now we ask the question: is the subsidy actually getting to the right target? These are the questions.
All right. The first question is subsidy
affordable for government? How affordable is it?
Sustainable too.
And how sustainable?
Because it's projected that by the middle of this year, government would have spent about 1.6 trillion on subsidy.
At the end, that's the projected subsidy for this year.
Yes.
And guess what? In this year's budget, only about 350 billion was provided
for electricity tariff.
For electricity subsidy.
Subsidy rather.
So, and we all know the situation of the pocket of our government. We all know that they don't have money. I cannot really recall. I don't know, but maybe if I call Abuja now or something. But as I know that on 25th of December, federal civil servants have not been paid their salaries. It's because the government is not liquid. We don't have that money. So why should we continue to dig holes for ourselves? Now, subsidy itself, as I keep saying, it's not a bad idea. I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's one thing that, average citizens will enjoy. But the question is this: subsidy was meant for the vulnerable in the society, so that they can have access to social amenities like electricity.
Yeah.
But with the situation of things on ground, how many of the poor people are actually benefiting from this? There's a study that we have done that showed that 20%, the least 20%, what we have done is to do it into, how do you call it now? Into 20% batches. So the poorest 20% in the country, the total subsidy that they're enjoying is not even up to $1 billion. While the richest 20% in the country are the ones enjoying over 350 billion worth of subsidy.
Okay. Fine.
We need to stress this. We need to really stress this. What you're saying is that the least, the 20%, the 20% of the poorest, they are enjoying about 1 billion subsidy, and the 20% of the richest are enjoying over 300 billion of the subsidy. Is that right?
Exactly.
So it then means that government is subsidizing luxury for the rich.
The subsidy is only the rich that is benefiting from the subsidy, not the poor ones. So what we are saying, I understand that some people will be listening to us and be saying, and let us leave it like that. That's the only thing that the poor ones are enjoying. But what we are not realizing is that we are putting ourselves in more debt for people that can afford to pay for their own. Let me give you an instance. Because the removal of subsidy in electricity tariff started in 2020 when the service-based tariff was introduced, right?
Yeah.
And as at first quarter 2023, right?
Yeah.
A Disco, for instance, the amount they paid in subsidy was just thereabout, was about 2 billion. Right?
Okay, 2 billion. Okay.
2 billion. Because the true cost of electricity to them was about 54 naira, and on the average, and the allowed cost was about 59 naira. So the difference there is about 250 kobo. So when you do the calculation, everything they collected out that first quarter was about 2.07 billion. But because of the freeze in tariff review, as at quarter 3, and not the follow-up, their subsidy has grown from that 2 billion to about 150 something billion as at quarter 3, marking over 1,000% in increment. What does that mean? Meanwhile, if you go to places like Yola, where they are considered to be actually vulnerable, the tariff difference is not much at the end of the day. So, what we are saying is that we are not saying that government should close their eyes and just throw everybody into the deep end.
Okay.
What we are saying is that we need to restructure, even if there is going to be any tariff to be given, it has to be restructured, and it has to be
it has to be such that we get to the right target.
To the right target.
Okay.
It's desirable. Let's hope that will happen in due course. Let's move away, and I'd like to permit me to revisit the Electricity Act that was signed into law last year. One of the provisions is the regionalization of the grid as one of the decisions that would actually help to shape the electricity subsector very well in 2023. How well will this play out in the course of the year?
Well, I think the concept behind generalization, for me, as originally preached, because what I've also discovered is that you can preach a very brilliant idea, but the implementation might be very poor. The concept behind generalization of the grid, for me, it was because there was no investment in the grid. I was just complaining that there was no money, and there was no money to invest. So we said, why don't we break this thing down into maybe regions, so that we can develop Eco region, for instance, and we know that the Eco region is 100% or at least 90%. Then we can go to Ibadan region, develop it, and have maybe 90%. You understand? But again, the minister mentioned that they want to do super grid. We have not seen blueprints. All we have just seen are statements from him. We have not seen blueprints that showed us, okay, they want to do regional grid. How do they do it? They want to break down TCN, for instance. Meanwhile, when the minister said they want to break down TCN, one of the things that is not put in consideration is that NEC has been trying to do this for years.
Mr.
But
I'm sorry, I'll have to actually interrupt you a little bit so that our listeners may also have the privilege of interacting with you on some of these submissions. Please kindly allow me to invite our listeners on 0818-212-0734. Please call in, join us on this program to make one or two contributions on what Mr. Adegbile has said so far on the issues that will shape electricity sector in 2024. So you can conclude, drive home your thoughts on the regionalization of the grid.
Yeah, so I mean, on the regionalization of the grid, what I'm saying is we have not seen the blueprint. So it's going to be very difficult to assess whether there's going to be any hope with it. So maybe when the minister releases the blueprint that he wants to work with, then we can now speak to that.
Thank you very much.
It's like there is someone on the line.
Someone on the line. Hello. Yeah, good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening. You are on.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello.
You are on air.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you, please.
I guess there's a network.
Please come on.
Mr. Adegbile, while we're still waiting for our listener to actually get through, I'd like you to a bit move out of the questions we have asked so far. On your own, what are the other issues you suspect that might shape electricity sector in 2024 outside the issue of tariff, subsidy, grid, and all of that? What other issues are you actually envisaging?
All right. Interestingly, immediately this government came to power, one of the things I did was to write, on this things forget matter, about the low-hanging fruits that we should take into consideration. Metering is number one.
Okay.
Part of the biggest problem in this sector is that we are not able to make the money back for products that are delivered, used by people, no matter how poor the service can be. We are not able to make the money back, and it's causing serious liquidity problems in the sector. People are putting in money and they are not able to recoup their money back. Metering, end to end, all customers.
Do you mean investors or who?
There is the phase 1 NMMP that was left in limbo. The CBN pulled out of it at some point. About 4 million meters that was supposed to be installed to Nigerians. Why is the minister not taking that up? And
the national mass metering program.
The national mass metering program, yes.
Yeah.
That is one. Okay. I also advise against the Siemens deal. Siemens is not going to be the solution to our problem in this country. At some point, Siemens has been blacklisted by TCN, the federal government agency. Before the Siemens deal that came up for under the last administration. And we keep asking questions. What is the framework for this Siemens deal? Nobody has been able to tell us effectively what the framework has been.
At this point, I'm sorry, I may have to actually interrupt you again. Time is not our friend. It has never been our friend on this program. And somebody like you have 2 hours on air to be able to actually dissect all the issues. We'll have to bring you back, sir.
We will have to bring you back.
We'll have to bring Mr. Adegbile back because we have just scratched the issues on the surface. We'll definitely have to host you again on this program. We need to sincerely appreciate your thoughts, your time, and everything on the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
We can't really thank Mr. Adegbile enough. We can't thank him enough. Thank you for your thoughts. And like we have said, we are sure that so soon you will have to join us again on the program. Thanks so much for your time. And to the listeners at home, we can also not thank you enough. We are very sure that next week you join us again and for another very interesting edition of the program.
Big G, happy birthday,
happy birthday to Big G.
Big G, wherever you are. Birthday to you.
Domo ipa.
Dear valued customer, kindly visit our website www.ekedp.com/STS and input your current meter number to check the eligibility status of your meter to upgrade to the STS2 version. If your meter is eligible, we will get back to you, but if it is not eligible, you will have to apply for a new meter, and note that EKDC will reimburse you for the meter over time.
If you experience any issues, kindly contact our customer experience team via the email or phone number provided.